Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers. And in this video, I'm going to have a look at extreme lighting positions that I use in my small home studio. Now, before we get going, if you haven't already done so, click on the subscribe button and of course the bell icon. That way you won't miss any of the videos because we have new content coming right here on Adorama TV pretty much every single day. So extreme lighting. Normally when I'm working in my studio, I'll put my light in a fairly safe, sensible place. But occasionally I want to do things that are a little bit more risky, and extreme lighting is definitely that. Now to do it, I'm going to show you 3 different methods, and to get there I need to set some lights up. Let's get a model in, let's get shooting. So to help me out today, I've got the amazing Sophie. Sophie is going to be the model for this shoot, and my first lighting position is pretty extreme, but perhaps not too much, because normally when we're setting up a light, I'll put a light in front of my model and just off to the side. But what I've done in this instance is I've taken that idea to the extreme by putting it right round the side at 90 degrees to Sophie. Now what should happen is we'll end up with a split lighting setup where half of Sophie is lit and half is in shadow. Not complete shadow because light will bounce off my wall and then back onto Sophie, but pretty much shadow. Now I've already set the meter up for this. Let's take a test shot and see how it looks. Okay Sophie, here we go. As expected, when Sophie looks at the camera, the lighting is pretty extreme with split light. But when she turns towards the light, it's perhaps not too bad, but there's definitely room for improvement. So what I've done to make this a little bit better is to keep the light relatively at the same position, 90 degrees to Sophie, but I've moved Sophie around to a more interesting background. That's a good start. And I've made the light a larger light source. Now I've gone for a StripBox because I still want that dramatic lighting. And because I'm using a StripBox, I've placed it up nice and high. If you have your StripBox down too low, you'll have light coming up from underneath and giving some underneath light, which is extreme, but not what we're doing today. So the more dramatic background and the larger light source should give us a more dynamic extreme light. Okay, let's take a bunch of pictures and see how this goes. Sophie, are you ready? Okay, here we go. So for the next lighting position, you might not think of this as extreme, but this is light directly in line with the camera. And for me, it's pretty much the last place I'll put flash. It's like having on-camera flash. And the reason for that is it's just not very exciting and it comes with a few problems. Let's have a little look. Okay, Sophie, let's just take a test shot, see how this goes. And when you look at them, yes, Sophie looks amazing, but the lighting is flat, there's a nasty shadow behind Sophie, it's just not good lighting. So what I've done is I've got something out of my kit that I haven't used in ages. This is a ring light, and it is a very specific sort of on-camera flash. It should give a very specific sort of shadow. Let's take a test picture, see how this looks. Okay, Sophie, here we go. So what we have is the flat lighting that we had before, but now the shadow is there, but it's equally spaced all the way around the outside of Sophie. It's a very distinctive look. The only downside with this particular setup is this is quite an old ring light with quite an old transmitter. So no TTL for me. I've got to do all of this manually, but it's going to be worth the effort. So Sophie, are you ready? Okay, let's take some pictures. Here we go. One of the slight advantages of having a smaller camera system is I can actually adjust the position of my camera inside of the ring light. I'm going to pull it much further back. I'm going to zoom it out and hopefully it should create something just a little bit special. So finally, my last extreme lighting position is with a light directly over the top of Sophie. Now, this is not the smartest place to put a light. Yes, it's going to be dramatic, but there's going to be some issues with the most fundamental thing about photographing people, and that is seeing someone's eyes. Let's have a look at this. Here we go, Sophie. As you can see, it's dramatic, but Sophie has absolutely no eyes. So what I've done to improve the overhead light is I've got a larger softbox. Now that's going to do a couple of things. I've also got a grid on there which is going to help to direct the light down, but being a larger light source, it should put just a little bit more light into Sophie's eyes. Well, at least that's the theory. Let's test it and find out. Here we go, Sophie. And the answer to that one is yes, that does exactly what we expected. There's not a lot of light in Sophie's eyes, but there's enough to see that there's a difference. So how can I make this extreme light position work? Well, there really is only one solution, and it's dead simple. I'm going to ask Sophie to look towards the light. That's it. Okay, let's take a few shots like this. Sophie, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Extreme lighting positions aren't something you're going to use in every single shoot. In fact, sometimes extreme lighting positions can even limit the basics, such as where your model's able to look. But if you understand how extreme lighting works, it can be a really useful tool. Now, if you've got any questions or you've enjoyed this video, stick a comment down below. Click on the bell icon for regular notifications of all the brand new videos right here in Adorama TV. And of course, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.